All right, you guys, we are back. This is part two. We're going to be finishing off our mountain and our sun rays shining over them. We're going to be finishing off our little creek that's running through the meadow. And then we're going to do all of our bigger flowers that are up front in the forefront here. So I've got a clean palette. I've got clean fresh water. I've got my paintbrushes. We are going to start with our wide brush, and we're going to get some black, and I'm going to make this stream just a little bit wider so that it's a little more defined as a stream, and hopefully my paint will come out like it's supposed to. There we go. Don't need a lot, just enough to make it happen. But and got some fresh paper towels ready to go. And then, yeah, we just want this stream to be a little wider right through here. And then we can start adding in our flowers and our sunlight, and it'll be a short part too. We don't need to do too much more, but I do want this stream to be a little bit wider through here. So I'm just, with this whole stippling effect, it it just makes it look a little more natural along the edge of the water. And I need to get good. Don't forget your sides of your canvas. If you're not going to put it on or in a frame, it's a good idea. So there's a little bit wider stream, and then I'm gonna put in a little more shadow through here. Just kind of give it a little more depth to it. And then we can get our small detail brush and a little bit of white. Won't need too much white for this part, but it's just putting a few little bits of ripples through the water so that the person looking at your painting gets the idea that it is a little stream running through. Doesn't have to be much. You can, if you go a little too heavy on the white, you can thin it out with the black. But it gives you, you can tell it's water kind of streaming down through the meadow. Now with your medium brush, we are going to take a little bit of the white and we're going to make stems, like a lot of stems. Our first ones, we want some pretty long ones that kind of come up and peek over over the water. So they're going to go like that. And that one went a little bit high. And I'm going to pick up some black now and kind of follow the same, get my brush a little bit wet. Get your brush a little bit wet and the black should flow a little nicer this way. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Just kind of getting some flower stems in place. I'm going to do them on this side as well. I'm just wisping through like this. A few over here, a few over there. I'm going to pick up some white and just follow through. And then I'm going to do the same with just a few lines here. Random lines. And they're just going to be our flower stems. Just getting them in place right now. And we're going to add some green as well. I'm just getting them kind of in place. Now let's get our hunter green. And with that same medium brush, and it's okay if your paint isn't dry yet from your first wisps. We're just going to throw in more green to, basically it's layers. You've got your undershadowed darker stems, and then the white actually is like highlights. And that gives you kind of an idea of where some stems are in your, I want yellow. I need a little bit of yellow in with that. And try to make it look as natural as possible without being as detailed as necessary. But with the tip of your medium round, we're just going to throw in some random just short wisps of like leaves off of the stems, yellow and hunter green together, some big, some small, some darker, some lighter. Then just put them in different places. They don't all. A lot of times you see a leaf and you don't necessarily see the stem that it came off of, and that's quite all right. We are just getting some extra greenery texturing in. And then here again, you're not wanting it to look exactly like perfect little leaves in nature, because we're going to be covering up so much of it, but we do want them to kind of peek through, so you kind of know what it is you're looking at. And if you can get them to a point, they look a little bit more like leaves. But okay, so we really are just creating the idea of leaves, not leaves, not like legitimate, it's got to look like a perfect leaf, you know. If we were doing one great big floral type of a painting, then we would definitely put a little more thought and effort into our leaves. But this is just, they're just peeking through. I mean, some you see, some you only see like a little piece of a leaf. You don't see the whole thing. You know, they're just kind of little wisps and ideas of leaves. Okay. Next, we're going to do purple. And we're going to make little bits of lavender. I'm just going to put some there on my palette. We're going to make lavender plants, a little lavender, pretty little lavender things coming through here. And I see them all through the reference, and you know, you want to start out at a tip, like just a tip, and then just dot, and then dot a little bit wider as you go down. And then they can curve a little bit into like, and then just keep just dotting away like that. And we want to do several of them. Maybe this one here's another lavender stem. Just get your purple on the tip of your round brush, and we just start out at a point and we get a little wider as we go down the stem of the lavender flower. And we're gonna do some extra colors, because not all lavender is straight up purple. You can do them with a little bit of pink. I've got this, it's just Paradise Pink from Apple Barrel, and put that, a little bit of that on there, and you can do a little bit of the two together and give it another layer. It kind of highlights them. And it's just like a little shoot of lavender. And this one. And then we'll get some white and we'll highlight them even more. And then they'll really, really, really stand out very lovely. Actually, this one goes clear over here. And then just gets wider as you go down. And then wipe that off a little bit and pick up some white just on the tip and go through again. And just a little dot of white. And then your lavender starts to really take shape. Just repeat that process as you go down. And then we can do the same over on this side. A little bit of lavender on both sides of the canvas. Nope, I just grabbed white. That is okay. Grab a little pink and purple and just put it all together. Never really any real mistakes, just happy little accidents, right? So we got some lavender, and we've got a little, maybe say a little bit of yellow. You do yellow and white together, it makes that yellow just pop a little bit better. And we've got some little yellow bits of just flowers that are kind of coming through the meadow out here in the open part of it. And we've got some pink, and it's like a pink and lavender together with a little bit of white. And just kind of poking through And some down in here too. Little bits of color. Don't know what they are. Doesn't really matter. And then we've got some white. Just some little bits of white kind of coming through. And then we've got maybe like right through here. Maybe just a little thin, like grab a little bit of yellow and green together and give it a little more color to its little stem. And then maybe a little bit of like leaf, feathery leaves kind of coming up. Just dotting. We don't know what it is, and that's okay. But they do have little pinkish, purplish, white flowers, kind of just kind of wide at the top and narrower at the bottom. We can do a couple of those. And then they're kind of highlighted as well with some white. Looks like a little bit. And soften them out with some black there. And say just maybe you could do a couple more of those. Those are kind of fun. Maybe another one coming up through here. A little bit taller. A little bit more of that purple. And dot nice and round, and then come down into a little point, and then dab some white in there. Don't know what it is, but it looks fun. And throw in a little bit of, rinse it a little bit, and I'm going to pick up some yellow with a hint of green. Do just some little tiny wisps of leaves coming off. Just some little wispy leaves. Got more yellow than anything on those. And just the tip of the little round, and just put some little bits of, soften these out a little bit. Some of this is like a little too bright of a green. We want it a little more earthy. And so I'm just adding a little more yellow into my stems there. Okay. Don't know. I think there's actually even more little ones popping up right through here. Some shorter ones. Throwing the pink and a little white. Maybe one more. Have it come this way. Have it curve a little bit. This again. It's white. Okay. Let's see, right here, something over here, something peeking through over here. You never know. Little flowers everywhere. Flowers, flowers everywhere. I'm gonna get some pink and white together. Have it kind of a pale pink. Just do a little bit in there. And just put some little dots in here and there. Then looks like we've got some very tiny little wisps of, I'm gonna go with yellow and white. Get my detail brush kind of wet. Get mostly yellow and white, maybe a tiny little hair of green. Not much. And then get it wet. Make it nice and fluid. And then I'm just gonna bring some wisps through here. Little ones. Just kind of peeking through. Get a little bit of green, make it a little bit darker in areas. I'm just going to do some little tufts of shadowy bits of grass. I'm adding water to my paint to make it nice and loose so that it doesn't get all clumped up on me. It makes it a little more fluid when I put my brush through it and do these tiny little wisps. You can do some little dark bits kind of come through here. Some dark spots coming through here. Yeah, that looks cute. That looks very neat. I like it. Okay. All right, so while all of this is drying down here, we're going to come up here and work on our sun and our sun rays. And then when we'll come back down here and we'll put in all of our daisies everywhere after that dries. Okay, so with your medium brush, very well cleaned off, we're going to do a little more yellow and white. More yellow and white. And we're going to come up here to our sun. And we're just going to swirl. And then we're going to pick up the red. I'm going to do yellow with just a tiny little touch of red. And start coming down like this. And we're just kind of swooping out. More yellow. When it gets above the mountains, we want it to kind of fade away. So a little bit of red, white, and yellow. And a little bit of white and yellow. And a little bit of water and kind of soften it all up. And then have it just kind of disappear into the mountainside. And we're going to soften this up with white and everything else. I'm softening with white now. And I'm blending it out. Now white, more white through here. And yellow. And then white. Circle, circle, circle. Until your brush is dry. And then I'm going to take our yellow and our red and get it kind of wet. And you're going to take that piece of paper that we had before and line it back up. And we're actually only going to take this to like the hillside with this pink, well, this orangey. So it's going to kind of come like that. Now we're going to come down and we're going to do it again. Just to where the mountainside stops. Okay. And we're going to do, this is going to kind of go just from the mountain, keep it wet, because we want it kind of transparent. And then it's just going to get a little bit shorter as we go. And then a little shorter still. Okay. And then we're just going to smooth it out through here. And we're going to very carefully, with our detail brush, not a problem. Make sure your detail brush is rinsed off real well. You pick up your white. And we're going to come out and just follow it, trying to point. Mm-hmm. I missed it out. And change over to this medium brush again, and we're just gonna mist, soften that out. I'm adding yellow and red, and Just softening all of this out like through here. It's going to get lighter, just yellow and white. You can get some. Yeah, okay. You can add a little bit of water to that. And then try to bring my little bit of the hillside back in through here. We just want a few of these trails to have a nice thin little strip of white kind of coming through, you know, like that.
Golden faces dancing in the sand. She's got the movement, she's got the way.
Man. This a little bit more. And this one. And this one. Just a little more white through there, so it disappears.
Nobody tells you the water's so cold, but I need a change before I get too
That was a little tricky, guys, but I think we got it. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. Now, with our white still there and fresh, we're going to medium brush, pick up a little bit of that white, and we've got like a little trail kind of coming off the peak of the mountain like that. And then we have another one kind of right around here. It goes off like that. And it looks like we got a little bit of a cloud kind of coming through here. And it's just, I barely have any white on my brush. But I'm just adding some wispy looking, looks like some clouds kind of coming through here. I'm dabbing a little bit. Dabbing and wisping. Like that. Looks alright to me. Maybe. I think I'm liking that pretty well. I wonder if I should. I think my yellow light probably needs to just fade just a little bit more through here. Okay. I'm liking that. All right, that's good. I like the sky. I'm gonna go now down to this lower area, and we are going to finish out our daisies everywhere. Now these are I don't know if they're daisies or if they're sunflowers. It's kind of, they look a little bit like they could be either one. So, but we need brown. And with our medium brush, I'm not even going to clean it off. It's fine with that little bit of yellow and stuff on it. But with our brown, we are going to start by putting little dots. Maybe a little bit of yellow with our brown. Okay. So it's kind of a little bit more obvious that there are dots. So we've got a lot of them right up in through here. We've got some big ones right in through here. And get my green out of the way. Probably like 3 big ones kind of like that. And then I got some smaller ones like here and here. Definitely got some more right through here. And some right through here, another one right there. And let's see, one more right here. You're kind of everywhere. Maybe one right through here. Okay, so once you get your dots in place, that's of course the centers of your flowers. You can dry the brown off and pick up a little bit of your black. Not a lot. We're just going to dab a little bit of dark texture inside of them. just to give them a little less of a flat look. Okay. Then we got all of our little dots where they need to be. And for some reason, I've got some red down here that I don't know where it came from. I must have probably touched some color. But yeah. I think I'm gonna put one more right there. Maybe one more right here. And a little bit on texture. All right, now we're going to do yellow and white. And we will add in additional layers of this as we go, but not too much. You know, you don't want to start out with just a little bit on the tip of your round brush. And if you need to add more, you can. It's a lot easier to build up rather than try to take away if it ended up being wrong. And then just a straight line. And just, we are going to do several straight lines. Not straight, but you know, several as these build up. They're not real pretty at first. And you don't have to go all the way to the center brown circle either. You want to keep a little bit of a space. But you're only just going to barely see these petals until about the third or fourth layer. Okay, yellow and white. And start out with just a little, and if you're not liking how big your petals are, you can pick up some more. And you just start away from the center, kind of press down and wisp, and yellow and white. Find your little dots and you're just going to fill them in. Some of them can go all the way around the center. Others, though, like let's just say this one, for example, its petals are coming up like that, and you don't even notice until you go up and over it. You can do it with, let's do it with this one too. And so then you only see a little piece of the center round circle because you went up and I always had a problem doing that. I mean, I still kind of feel weird about it, you want to go all the way around your little centers, and but then they don't look like they're bending, you know, bending where they could. Some of them are perfectly fine coming out like that, but others, actually the wind might be blowing this one and causing its little petal to go up, you know. So it took me a while to get brave enough to just put a petal right over the center part of the flower. But once I started doing it, I don't do it with all of them. You don't need to, because they're not, no two daisies are the same. Okay, so let me do that again. There's another one here. It's a bit more yellow than white because it's kind of behind everybody. Still got some white that's getting hit here and there. And see, this one down in the corner doesn't even have any petals down at the bottom of it. It's just like trails off. Just kind of trails off right there. And that's okay. Then this one I would say is going to be relatively big and all the way around. And you can turn your canvas different directions so that you can get top and bottom of those petals real easily. And see when this is just the first layer, so when we go back in and put another layer in, it's going to be more orangey, I guess, to take care of that, to get that gold, kind of a gold color into them. We'll add a little bit of orange, a little bit of pink, really, to the yellow. And it's all done in some stages, and you just build them up as you go. I'm going to have this one go this way. You never know. Never know. Fun. I love these. Just fill them all in. one, the little one right up here. And we'll fix our little centers of our daisies after we get all the petals in. But you need to kind of get your centers in place so that you know where to put everything. This placement's important for eye flow. You don't want just like a big group of daisies, like, and they just don't make any sense because there's no others anywhere else. Okay, turn it around, see what we got going on. I'm gonna add a little bit of white through some of these. See this one, the flowers are kind of all over the place, or the little blooms, or oddly everywhere. But they're coming together. I don't know about you, but every time I paint another little petal, it just makes me smile. They're just so sweet. And then just layer after layer, but we're gonna, after this one's done, we're gonna throw in a little hint of peach to them. Put a little hint of peach in them so they look more the color of the image there. And it's really just a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red. And let's throw a little pink seed out of there. Okay. A little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, and even threw in a little bit of pink just for fun. And then we are going to, I'm just going to bring like this one just kind of in the center. And this one I'll throw in.
I saw a hummingbird in the sky. It dancing circles round the window light. And I thought of you, thought of you. I felt the rain fall on my face. Running rivers down the interstate. And I thought of you, I thought of you.
Well, I'm mixing up a little bit more with water just to give me a little bit better flow.
I heard the flowers bloom in Paris now, and all the butterflies dance from the crowds.
Yeah, this one.
I thought of you, I thought of you. And there's a couple dancing in the park, and for a moment they forget where they are. And I thought of you, I thought of you, I thought of you. Sunset skies on an endless day. When you hold me tight, it all feels the same. Feels the same. Feels the same. The world stops spinning every time you stay. Now I can't stop thinking that you feel the same. Feel the same. Feel the same. Sunset skies on an endless day. When you hold me tight, it all feels the same. Feels the same. Feels the same. The world stops spinning every time you stay. Now I can't stop thinking that you feel the same. Feel the same. Feel the same.
Okay, now we can go back through and bring our centers back into focus. Just dabbing in the centers. And then we can take a little bit of white and give them some highlights right inside. Right inside their little deals. And just a tiny on the tip, and then just gently dab. And then with that white again, just a little bit on the tips, you can highlight, just kiss the very tops of each little petal, and it highlights them just a little bit more. Once that's done, you can just kind of look back over everything, make sure we didn't forget any little steps anywhere, and find a little section on the canvas to initial your final finished piece. And then we will be done. But we gotta just, this actually helps a little bit just to highlight each of these pretty little petals. Nearly out of white. I wonder if I can make it through without having to reload. Yay. I hope so. Close, so close. Oops, almost there. Just a little bit. All right, I want to do those right in there. It's easy to miss them if you're not watching. Okay, so I think we have ourselves a finished painting, you guys. So with your detail brush and whatever color you might have on your plate, or if you want to get a new color, I am going to go with some yellow and brown. I'm going to have to get it wet. Good and wet. And you can initial or sign, however you do that. Get some white in there too. Might have to get it. Anyway, find a little place on your canvas to initial your painting. I'm going to put my initials right here. I always like to try to make it kind of blend and match the painting. But yeah, as long as your sides are all good, your tops and bottoms. That's the end of the tutorial. That is our summer Mountain Majesty, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, you guys, and we will see you next time in the studio.